Good morning, Pisces. Good morning, DreamWeavers. I have a channel message for you today. I don't know if I will post this, but I channeled this, so I wanted to come share with you. So, because many of you are seers, right? And these are part of your gifts. You've done the work. You've cleared your root chakra, right? You've done the root work. And you're now finding stability. You've done the heart chakra work. And some of you have had to balance out your heart chakra because your heart was way open, right? And then your throat chakra was closed. So you had to balance that out so that you can speak your truth when you need to, right? And also open up your third eye so that you can see what you're getting into before you just wholeheartedly jump into things. For many of you, the awakening, your awakening, these ascensions that you're having now are going to not only affect you, because basically every time you get to the next level of awakening, you figure out there's another piece of your ego that dies. And with that ego death, right, comes more clarity. Because when your ego is not in the way of what's happening, you see things clearer. Your third eye is more open. And you're able to reflect to others instead of them always you always picking up what they're projecting. You're able to project themselves back to them. And because of that, you're going to find that there are people in your this could be family. This could be, you might be the first one in your family to awaken in this way, to spiritually awaken. And you will trigger others in your family to also awaken. Some will do the work, some will not. But don't be surprised that as they do the work now, that they come to you. Because you may be the one they come to, they look up to. And some of them may not even know why they're coming to you. They just will have a sense and they will feel and this is part of your life's purpose, but they will have a sense and feel that you are the one that they trust. And these may be people in your past. This could be your children. This could be your, people in your past that, you thought, maybe really didn't, that you weren't the one that they trusted the most, that they had other people that they could go to. And then you're going to find that you're the one. And they may not know why. They're just going to feel drawn to you. They're going to feel drawn to your light. They're going to feel drawn to your truth. Right? Because they know that you will speak the truth with them, but they know that you'll speak it with love. And it will all start to make sense to you why this work was so important that you did, why your awakening was so important, why all the things that you went through was so important. Because you're going to be able to relate. You're going to be able to help some people, the ones that want. You're going to be able to help them. Um, really interesting. I got a message that says, Mira, more for you. I appreciate it. They're going to appreciate you. There's going to be so much more because with this is a great responsibility. But you're going to find yourself being able to handle it because they're going to, people, as they're awakening, they're going to be looking to spiritual advisors to do that root work, right? And you know what's interesting is as it's going to be twofold because as these people come to you and they're doing their own root work, um that root work that they're going to bring you is further bring you more and more and more of an ego death so that you rise and rise and rise further. You're going to because you're going to be holding space for things that you things that maybe you know happen but you don't think happen to those people around you. So it's almost like there's and these might be things that you have no this is um you letting go of control. In essence, it's you of letting go of control of a lot of things and being just being there to listen. So, you know, and they talk a lot, you know, we talk a lot about what it means to just be and stop doing, right? Because when these people come to you, there'll be nothing really to do but hold that space for them and just be. Let them be. You might surprise yourself that you don't have the need to control whatever they're telling you. You may not even feel the need to fix it, right? Because there'll be things, you know, when people are doing their root works and a lot of root work involves things that have happened in the past that destabilize people in their life. And a lot of it has nothing to do with you. And if these are close family members to you, you may think, you know, in the past you might have thought you want to blame yourself, but you're and that's part of when you blame yourself for something that happened to someone else, it's because you think you have control over it. And when you realize that you don't have control, um when you start to acknowledge and realize that you don't have control over everything and you release that control and you allow things to just be what they are, allow the universe to um, guide you, allow the universe to guide you on what to say, allow the universe to guide you on what to do if you need to do anything, right? But a lot of your healing work is gonna be just holding a space for someone. And now that you have boundaries also, because that's part of the work that you've done, now that you have boundaries, you'll be able to hold that space for people. Make sure you're cleansing because you're going to hear some dark things. The dark side will come. The dark side of things that you don't have any control from. And I know that many of you have seen the dark side yourself, but when you start seeing the dark side outside of you, you're going to want to have a place where you're holding that light. Because your light is what's healing. You don't want to fall back into that space of darkness yourself. Because if you're in that space of darkness, It's not good for you, and it's not good for your life's purpose. So just be sure that you're cleansing, you're holding the space, you're saying your prayers if that's what you do, you're meditating, you're releasing, right? You're releasing. You want to release when people bring you things. It's going to be really important because you're no longer in the space of trying to control anyone. It's going to be so important that you're releasing, especially those dark things that they're going to share with you, right? Because you don't want to hold on to that. It's not always, it's going to be yours to hold that space for them, to help them heal, but it's that space for you to hold, but for you then to help them release it back to the universe and let karma, for whatever it is, let karma, whatever karma's at play, let it play out. That's very important. Many people get caught up in wanting, when, especially when you're doing root work. A lot of root work involves a lot of dark things, a lot of things where people were maybe assaulted, or a lot of bad things happen to people, right? But you're not the thing that happened to you. When you start to realize you're not the thing that happened to you, and you know it, and you've done the work, you're going to be the one holding that space for other people where dark things have happened to them. And maybe even guiding them that, because there's, you can remember if you were in that, if when you did your work, that there were times where you wanted revenge. Like you were like, when am I going to get my revenge? When is, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this and get revenge. But this is when and why you need someone, a spiritualist who has ascended already to help guide you. Because it's really ironic that no matter what has happened to you, but when you do things in the spirit of revenge, there's karma with that, because it's not pure. So basically, it becomes not any better than what the person did to you, or what happened to you, or whatever it is. The instability. Maybe you were homeless because your parents were alcoholics. Maybe you were, a lot of things. It's different for everyone. I may create a safe space. I wasn't thinking that I was going to do that here on YouTube, or maybe create a Patreon, a safe space where people can come and talk, because obviously on YouTube is not, it's a very, very, very public place, and this is not a place to come and you can share some things. It's still, and again, I'm not saying that that's not what you should do, right? It's gonna be different for everyone, and it's gonna be as you're healing, it becomes more of what spirit are you in when you open up your throat chakra. Because no matter, as you ascend, you should always come, it should always come from a place of love first. That doesn't mean that whatever happened to you, that you accept it, or that you condone it, or that you have to go back to it. That's not what I'm saying. But when you come from a place of love and forgiveness, it's amazing what happens. And that's the place where other people, when they see you heal, that's why they're coming to you, Pisces. They see that you're healed. Even if you're still doing the work, but they can see that you're more healed than them and that they have somewhere to come through. And you'll be surprised that as people come to you, that your healing continues through them. They're going to be people that come to you. That some of them are going to, some of it's going to be, some of them will be a test for you, right? Because some of it will be hard to hear. Are you going to be able to hold that space? You have to know your limits, right? But as you're stepping into this in this space, right? It's great to say, I want to be a healer. I want to be a healer. I want to help people heal. But as you help people heal, you're stepping into their dark side, the dark side of things that maybe the likes of even you have never seen or you have never heard, at least not personally. We hear a lot of things on TV, we see movies, you see things, but those things you see out there, some of them are real and some of them maybe you've never heard or you never thought, you know and so just I want to make sure that you all are cleaning your space, cleansing, salt baths. you know if you don't have a bathtub in your house, you know hang some salt in the shower and let that, when you take a shower, drip that over you. Imagine yourself releasing, as the water is running down, releasing, cleansing yourself and releasing whatever it is down in the shower. And make sure that you have someone that you can talk to, or that you can it might not be someone you directly talk to, but maybe somewhere where you go and you get positive feedback. It could be someone on YouTube. I don't know. If there are a lot of different spiritualists and things like that on YouTube. But you just want to make sure that you're holding that light for yourself, because if you don't continue to hold that light for yourself, it can get pretty dark. Like, you go back to picking up other people's energy and holding on to that, and you're always going to feel other people's energy. But remember, you've done the work and you've learned how to set those boundaries and understand what energy is yours and which is theirs. And I don't know if I'm going to post, I really don't know if I'm going to post this. This was just a download that I got. And I think, many of you could be, elated, because as you're stepping, the other part of this, right? Your ascension is that you're stepping into things that are your birthright. You're stepping into your abundance with this, right? What do they always say? With, what is it? Like, with great, something comes great all this abundance comes with great responsibility. It comes with additional responsibility. It comes with all that is your birthright, right? The gifts, the spiritual gifts, they're gifts that are your responsibility. But when you have those gifts, you have to know how to handle them. Also, a lot of people mishandle their gifts and they get stripped and they can't see, and this is the gift. This is the light that you're going to hold up for someone else as they're doing their root work. Because you want to guide them to the light. You don't want them to stay in that shadow, in their shadow. You want them to understand their shadow. You want them to understand the darkness that they've been through. You want them to understand the darkness that there is out there, but teaching them how to release and not hold on to it. You know, I went to spiritualist, and I was talking about something that happened to me, and I said, you know, I think I'm going to go on YouTube, and I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna go out there and I'm just gonna speak my truth. And she was like, hold on. Don't, you know, I don't think you're ready. That's what you'll be doing for other people. I don't think that, maybe that's not the way, right? And maybe for some people that is the way. But, you know, coming to a public place, and as you release those parts of you, right? The shadow aspects of yourself. You know, you may hear me talk about myself. I talk about the fact that, you know, I drank a lot, right? My alcoholism. But I'm at a place where I'm not I'm not worried about the judgment that comes from that, because I'm coming from a place of, I know that speaking that truth may help someone else see that you don't always have to be stuck there, right? But it's a mindset also that helps it's a mindset shift. And that mindset shift, if you haven't done that mindset shift yet, you can possibly, coming out and speaking your truth, people coming out and speaking their truth and putting things out on the internet can lead to more darkness, because people are mean. People are mean. They say mean things, you know? And the other thing is that, just like you're a seer, right? There are people that can see whether or not you're healed, because that's why your light irritates their demons, because that's why your light irritates their darkness. Because, and they may not know, but they can see, because the things that they do, the things that they say can know, you know, it's like it rolls off your back, and they're like, wait a minute, most people don't react that way. Right? But for someone who's not healed yet, that's coming out and putting their business on YouTube or on social media or on a public platform without being healed, it's dangerous. It can be unsafe if they're not healed. Right? Imagine if I'm drinking, right? And I'm not healed and I'm still drinking, right? And I'm coming on YouTube and I'm drunk. Right? And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm drunk. Like, I can drink. But then people are in my comments saying mean things, right? But in the background, I know that I need to, like, this is something that I'm struggling with, that I'm trying to heal from, but I'm on social media drinking and showing everybody that this is what I'm trying to heal from. It's, you know, the backlash might cause a setback. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful about the way we go about healing ourselves too. It has to be right for you. And for some people, it may work. I'm not saying don't do that. If that's what you're called to do, have at it. You know? But anyway, you know, I think that the gist of this was that you're being called to part of your gifts. You're going to be seeing some darkness in others, but it's a beautiful thing, right? Because that darkness, you're going to see them rise from the dark. You're going to see them rise from the ash and rise to their and you won't see everybody. So there'll be some darkness where you're just going to have to say, okay, that's it. That's what they want to do. And okay. And that's hard, right? Because remember, you have boundaries. But for the ones that you see rise, that you help and you see rise from the ash, like the horns, that's gonna feel like your abundance. It's gonna sound like the horns are sounding. You know, you're gonna freaking hear Archangel Michael sounding that horn for you. It's not all about the money. The abundance is great. The pentacles, the you know, all that stuff, that earthly stuff, it's great and it will come. It's coming as part of your gifts. It's your birthright. And you're going to help people tap into their birthright, and that's beautiful. All right, Pisces, I hope this message found you well. You keep weaving that dream, and I will see you in the next video.